Alright, let's start with an enclosure that I personally think starts this video off with a bang. I really like how it's set up. It serves its purpose. It's, I'd like to think, quite well done. There's a bit of everything. I do find her set up on these rocks and sometimes that cork bark every now and again. A bit of slate directly under the halogen, which will help the IRC once the lights go off. And then in there, we've got the cool/humid hide. Nice big bowl of water for her to get to, if she so wants it. We've got the cork stack, which she climbs in and out of all of the crevices. She does enjoy that. And really, this is one of my favourites. One day I'd like to give her bigger than a 3x18x18. I don't know. She does use it. To be honest, I want to start getting to the point where I give all of my animals bigger than the smallest recommended amount, or, you know, but we'll see. Like I say, so far, as you can see by that little claw, like I say, I've always been open about it, that she came to me with a bit of MBD. That's it though. That's all. Everything else, she's absolutely fine. It's just that little gammy claw of her. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. What was I expecting? But yeah, she's a lovely animal. I really like this little leopard gecko. But as you can see, lots of pine needles. She's keeping an eye on me now. Leaf litter. And yeah, just a really, really nice enclosure. She hasn't got an LED in here yet. It's overhead heat. It's UVB. Currently no LED, but that is one of the hopes. But yeah, this is Dottie, the leopard gecko. I think she's incredible. She's a very, very personable little animal. And I think leopard geckos get bundled into that, you know, beginner reptile and boring reptile sort of category. And I don't think it's right, personally. I think she's full of character. She's a beautiful little thing as well. And yeah, I honestly would recommend leopard geckos to anyone that wants a personable little lizard. One other thing, this isn't an educational video, but if you look at her shape, as you can see, she's not fat. Her head is bigger than where her neck is, and it doesn't get much bigger. She's got a nice thick tail, but a nice skinny tail base. So she is in good shape because she is not overfed. It's a danger with leopard geckos especially. It is very easy to overfeed them. But as you can see, she's in very, very good shape. Apart from her little MBD claw, but that doesn't stop her hunting. Okay, this definitely isn't one of my best enclosures. This is for my very big female royal python, who is in the back under there. I've not set it up very well, but I wanted to make sure that she had a nice dark cool hide. This is the enclosure, as you can see. It is overhead heat. Unfortunately, her LED did break, so I need a new one. Wait, did I say LED? I meant UVB. Her LED is up here. She does have an LED. Now, a massive shout out to Ben from Reptile, who actually bought me that LED for this enclosure. I put out a little thing a little while ago. Does anyone fancy sort of sponsoring an enclosure as such, or just helping out with an enclosure? Ben chose Josie, the normal royal, because he said of all the snakes that he missed that he had, it was his big normal royal. But yes, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, as does Josie, I'm sure. But yes, shout out responsible reptile keeping. As you can see, she is in there. I'll see if I've got any B-roll of her anyway, just to make it a bit more interesting. But yes, not my best setup. She does have climbing opportunities, which once again she does use. But she's going to be getting a bigger enclosure. Once we're in the new reptile room, she's getting a bigger enclosure for sure. But yeah, that's Josie, the big normal royal python. Okay, now we come down to this enclosure here, which I'm still really happy with. This is Lilith, the Andean milk snake. As you can see, Pothos in here doing an absolutely beautiful job. We've got her warm hide is under there, but she can either bask out on top or underneath. And then we move across. This is the custom background that I did, by the way. That's polystyrene grout and a bit of paint, which to be honest with you, I'm not happy with how I painted it. I think it would have looked better without the paint. I think the black is quite nice, like the black accents. Hang on. There we go. The black accents are nice, but I don't like that I tried adding like the brown and the green. There was a plant in the back here as well. As you can see, it's not there anymore. I am trying to think of another plant that I could put in there, and I am growing some. But I'm a really big fan of this enclosure still. Obviously fresh water, topped up whenever I can, usually daily. But that, my friends, is Lilith, the milk snake. And again, another enclosure I'm really happy with. She's got, actually, before I continue, I nearly forgot. Like I say, overhead heat, UVB, and this one actually has a jungle dawn, an Arcadia jungle dawn. And that one was sent to me by George from Reptilian Mentality. I thank you, I appreciate you. It absolutely lights this enclosure up. Like, they're so good. And George, I appreciate you for sending me one as well. You're a real one. So yes, a shout out to you as well. But I think that's it. Let's move on to the next reptile, shall we? Okay, so we come a little bit further down here, and under here is Callie, who is a cinnamon calico royal python, who, as you can see, has right squeezed herself in there. She hasn't been in this enclosure long, but let me tell you, she uses it. So you might recognise this one that used to have Pippin the Pastel in there. He has gone to another home, sadly, but it is what it is. I needed to move some snakes on. As you all know, I'm not making any, any qualms about that. I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend and say, but to be fair, the home he's gone to is bigger than this one. The house he's gone to is now a 4x2x2. It's the young lad's only snake, which, to be fair, he's messaged me since saying that he understands why people keep them and he's tempted by another one. But that's why I let him go, is because he's gone to a 4x2x2 home. Callie here has overhead heat in the form of halogen, and she has UVB, and she uses both. I will add B-roll again for her. As you'll see, she climbs, she basks, she loves it. Absolutely loves it. But yeah, she's got climbing opportunities. She's got hides in the back in the cool area. Someone mentioned on an Instagram video recently that it looks very dry. It does, but that's because of the dead grass. Otherwise, the humidities in here are kept to where they should be. They just look quite dry because of the dead grass. So, not to worry. And that is Callie, the Cinnamon Calico Royal Python. A massive shout out to my patrons, to everyone that watches these videos, likes, comments, all of that. It seems a very, very high percentage of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button down below, please, that would be massively helpful for me. Let's check out what Ragnar's doing, and then we'll carry on with the reptile room tour. This is why I said let's check out what Ragnar's doing, because I'm not really sure what she's doing, to be honest. Don't just drop, please. Alright, that was a little bit more graceful than I was expecting. I'll tell you what, should we check her enclosure out next? Yeah, oh, well done. Oh. Alright then. This is Ragnar. Ragnar is my roughneck monitor. She's in an enclosure that's 8 feet across, that's 3 feet down, that's 5 feet tall there, that's about 2.5, 3, oh no, I've already said that, 2.5 feet deep. This is all for her. This is one big enclosure just for her. As you can see, plenty of climbing opportunities, horizontal, vertical, because they are an arboreal species. She's got a pond to swim in because they do enjoy swimming as well. She's got a plant that she hates. Nest box, roof tile for an extra place to hide and a bit more heat. And she has on this side a 75 watt basking spot there, 2 LEDs. And then on this side, she's got a 100 watt basking spot, a UVB, and, well, an LED covered in cobwebs. She also has a misting system that at the minute goes twice a day, but that changes with the seasons. Just you wait until you see what I've got coming for her. Just you wait. And then another shout out, this time for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Paul's Monitors. He supplied the LEDs for Ragnar's enclosure. So thank you, my friend. There's what is there? There's 2 on this side, 1 on this side. But yes, thank you to you. I'm really scared I'm going to forget to shout someone out with these. Let's keep going, and I'll see if I can make sure I don't forget anyone. But thank you, my friend. Yes, on to the next animal. Up here we have Lando, the crested gecko, who is probably asleep. Now, I quite like this enclosure, but I mean, I've changed it at least 4 times. The snake plant is doing well. The Dieffenbachia was doing well. I don't know what's happened to it since. I think it might need another watering, but we'll see. The coconut hide he's not massively fond of. Obviously custom background that I did. I do like this central piece that I've got, but it's just too small. So I need to sort that out and put it on maybe a stand, or just knock it up a little bit. I need more horizontal climbing. He does have some, as you can see. You've got that going all the way across. He's got his hiding opportunities. He has dropped his, where his hide is up there. He does have the Arcadia linear E27 UVB, and he's got an LED. So at the minute, no overhead heat, but that is for the future when there's, because as you can see on the top, there's no room for anything else up there apart from the compact top. So yes, this is Lando, the Harlequin crested gecko, and that is his enclosure that I've changed multiple times. But I'm happy with it at the minute. It could do better, but it could also be worse. Okay, let's have a quick look at the very few inverts I've got. So these are my Sungaya stick insects. Now, I did have them in a bigger DIY enclosure that I built a little while ago, but for some reason all my adults died. Now, I think they were at that sort of age, but the fact that it was within a few days of each other did seem a bit weird. I don't know if maybe it got too hot in here, I'm not sure, but I thought that was it. And then the substrate that I had in that enclosure, I put in one of the bins with the locust, and then I kept finding babies. So there were clearly eggs still left in there. And now these are the babies. I'll tell you what, let's get one out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm actually quite glad, because I'm a big fan of these stick insects. I think they're really cool. Oh, well, yeah, I've got a few of them now as well. No doubt when they get to adult size, there's going to be probably a whole lot more, but I do need to get a bigger setup for them because they do get quite big. I think my adults ended up being about 3 to 4 inches long a piece. So, yeah, I've got a few of them. And these are my Sungaya stick insects. Up here in this little enclosure is Shelob, my female regal jumping spider. There she is, look at her. Oh, she is cool. I am a big fan of hers, to be fair. And to be fair, so is my 2-year-old son. All these reptiles, the ones you've seen so far and the ones that you're going to see, he likes them, but he's always wanting to see the spider, much to my missus' dismay. So much so that, shout out to Phil from Incredible Inverts, I bought a nice big spider plushie for my boy, which he absolutely loves. So that is Shelob. She's in her little enclosure, which again looks very dead, but I quite like the aesthetic of that for the spider. But yeah, that is Shelob, the regal jumping spider. On to the next inverts, but before we do that, shout out AvGeeks Assemble, yeah boy. So, in this box here, and a massive shout out to Rebecca from Leopard Gecko YouTube for the 3 giant African land snails. Now, here's the thing about these guys. whilst these guys are safe in a fairly decent sized tub, and I'm sure they'll get upgraded, fresh daily greens, there's some bee pollen in there for them, they do get treats. I'm planning on maybe putting a couple of bits in here for them. Their offspring will unfortunately be used as live food for the blue-tongued skink. But yes, as you can see, 3 giant African land snails in here. And again, a shout out to Rebecca. Appreciate you. Thank you. Blimey, I've thanked a lot of people for free stuff in this video. I'm starting to feel like a right scavenger. I do appreciate you all. Thank you. And if one day there is anything I can do to return the favour, of course I will. None of these people have given me stuff in the hopes that they're going to get stuff in return, but I will remember it and hopefully I can return the favour one day. Now, on to what is currently the best enclosure I have ever created. Ever. No two ways about it. Let's have a look. Oh, no, not that one. This one here. Now, unfortunately, she has been battering the plants a little bit. As you can see, she's pulled those ones down. But the point remains that this is my best enclosure to date. It's luminized all the way through, overhead heat, UVB, and this is my cohab enclosure that I announced very recently on my YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't seen that video, here's what's inside. There is a singular female royal python. There are 2 currently olive millipedes and 3 Cameroonian dwarf geckos. To be fair, the majority of the feedback I've got so far has all been positive, if not all of it. I've not had a single person... I hate to call them the cohab police because I know what they're doing and I know why. Like, I get it, it can be dangerous if it's not done properly. But luckily I think most people have realised what I'm doing isn't stupid. Because these lizards are too small for her to even consider them a meal. They're not worth her time. I've said it before and I'll die on that hill, to be completely honest with you. Another quick shout out, this time to Bailey's Backgrounds. Thank you, my friend. Without you, there's no way I would have been able to get the Cameroonian dwarfs. Thank you, my friend. So yes, I've changed this enclosure a little bit since I released that video, which if you didn't see, please consider checking it out after this video. But here's what I've done differently. There was a fern in there. It was dying. It wasn't doing very well at all. So I took the spider plant that was down there, which we will see shortly, and I've put it in here. Now that spider plant has been doing very well and it's been putting out pups and all sorts. So it's definitely doing well. But I want to see how much better it does now that it's in an enclosure with a jungle dawn as opposed to a fish tank light. So this is my latest one, more to come. Let's check out this one here. Now, this enclosure here is the first DIY enclosure that I built. Well, actually, that's not true. The first good DIY enclosure that I built. And it's still going very strong. It's the first time I used polystyrene and grout for a background. This one is removable, which is quite cool. This was my favourite enclosure for quite a while. Now, it's still decent, don't get me wrong. I am still happy with it. It's functional. That's the word I forgot yesterday. It's functional. It definitely has what it needs. It's got overhead heat, UVB. The LED isn't an Arcadia luminized. It is just an LED fish tank bar, which, I mean, it works, but I mean, that's not Arcadia. That is. So, you know, you sort of tell me which one you think is better, because it's night and day for me. But this is Uber, the pinstripe piebald. Unfortunately, he is one of the ones that is going as well, so this enclosure will be utilized for someone else. This might be what Josie comes into, I'm not sure yet. But as you can see, I did a Koya brick background as well, straight directly onto the wood. Did the polystyrene and grout. Yeah, not bad. Couple of aloes, satin pothos in the top, and that is Uber. There is one snake left in the rack. One. That's it, no more. After him, the rack is done completely. I can't show him to you now because he is very heavy in blue and I don't want to stress him out. But because he is still a juvenile, that's why he's the last one in the rack and everyone else is in enclosures. But that, my friends, I believe, is this room done. One other little thing before we go from this room. I am still very much enjoying propagating plants and growing my own stuff. And so far, so good. That was one big polka dot begonia. I'm hoping I now have 3, but we'll see what happens and hopefully they root in and start getting a bit bushier as well. But really enjoying the plant side of things. Plenty more of that to come as well. Now, why am I doing a reptile room tour now at this stage of the year? By the way, please excuse this little one. Captive bred by myself, 2024. Because I'm about to give you a very quick sneak peek as to why I'll be doing another reptile room tour in the next few months. Video coming soon, but this is the midway point of Reptile Room 2.0 being built. It's looking very good. Pretty much all of the animals are going to be moved into here, because what you're about to see now is the last of the animals in different rooms. Ones in the living room are going to stay there, but the Tokay's coming down and everyone else is going to be coming in here. So keep your eye out. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Notification bell to let you know when the videos are coming. But Reptile Room 2.0, we're leveling up. We are leveling up. So anyway, let's carry on with this one. Okay, so we are now in the living room on the top of the stack of 3. For those of you that are regulars to my channels, this is a firm favourite, and we will try and get him out momentarily with some locust. He's got some fresh rocket to start the day, fresh water, giving him a nice big spray down, but this is Dobby the blue tongue skink. So I was hand feeding him when he was a little runt of a skink. I got him to trust me because he'd just run away before. I got him hand feeding. He then was sold to some lovely friends of ours, which was really nice, who unfortunately then had to look to downsize, and they came straight to us to see if we wanted Dobby. Yes, I'd love Dobby. So he is coming out of his shell again, loves his Omni Gold, which has helped me create a bit of a bond with him because he will spoon feed the Omni Gold. So yeah, all good stuff, all good stuff. Okay, moving down one on this stack to one who isn't going to need encouraging. Gotcha. Her water bowl is currently empty. She decided to sit in it the other day. I just haven't had a chance to top it back up again. But that's fine if that's what she wants to do and that's how she hydrates herself, then that's fine. This is Rango, the bearded dragon, the one that started it all. This is her enclosure. She's in a 4x2x2, overhead heat, UVB and LED. Climbable walls, but that's because another shout out, this time to MJH Exotics. Thank you, Matt, for letting me have this enclosure. And obviously it was set up, I believe, for some sort of, probably a monitor of some sort before. But yes, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. But this is Rango and her enclosure. Let's give her another one, shall we? And I'll tell you who else is waiting for food. Whoa! On to him in a second. Let's get her another locust. There you go, sweetheart. She's very recently laid a clutch of slug eggs. But I say slug eggs, 3 or 4 of them looked fertile. Now, she's never been paired with Diego. We tried a couple of years ago, nothing happened. He didn't know what he was doing, so nothing happened. Now, parthenogenesis is something that has been seen, obviously, in a lot of reptiles. I don't know how common it is with beardies, but you incubate until you can be sure there's nothing. So, yes, we're incubating those. We'll see what happens. It's probably not going to, nothing will come of it, probably. Excuse me. But we'll see. I'll keep you up to date with those. Ragnar ate the rest of the slug eggs, which she loved. But yeah, let's carry on. Let's go and check out Diego, shall we? Now, this big boy here is a lizard that came to us as a rescue who didn't eat greens. As you can see, he will get some locust as well. But I know for a fact that he will eat this first. Rango is a little bit pickier. She does prefer the locust. Not saying he doesn't prefer the locust, but he will very happily eat his entire bowl of greens first. As you can see, another 4x2x2. This time water that was changed yesterday, but he has since sat in as well. Plenty of climbing opportunities. If you ever think, is that log too steep for my beardie? No, because he sleeps vertically. Quite often, in fact. Hey, you big handsome boy. Hey, you're big and you're handsome. Let's get you a locust as well, shall we? Oh! Bang. And that, my friends, is the stack of 3. And these ones are in fact staying in the living room. Mainly because, excuse that, that's not for me. Although I do play with it. Mainly because the 2 bearded dragons are the OG animals that we got. Rango is a lizard that, well, like I say, she started it all. She started this whole madness that we've got going on here. My missus fell in love with her, wanted a bearded dragon, so we got her. And then literally a few months later, she went into the same reptile shop to get bugs for her. Saw they had Diego, who was basically a very emaciated dragon with the bottom part of his tail missing. Up for rescue, she fell in love with him. Can we get him? Yes. So these 2 are basically my wife's pride and joy. She adores these animals. So yeah, these guys are staying in the living room. The only reason Dobby's staying in here as well is it just makes it easier, really. It takes up the same amount of floor space. We do love Dobby as well. I mean, me especially. But yeah, I'm just sat here watching Diego eat his salad, but it's time to move on. And actually, we're nearly done. And this, my beautiful friends, is one of my other pride and joy enclosures. This is for my pair of tokays. Who one is up there? That is the female, Delta. Echo is in here somewhere. Oh, there she goes. There's times that I see her little head popping out of there as well. It's one of her favourites. Is he down here maybe? No. But this, I can never get it right. It's 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, 4 feet tall for a pair of tokay geckos. This is fully luminized up. So it's got the Shade Dweller UVB and it's got a Jungle Dawn LED. On top of that, it's an Arcadia 30 watt halogen. 30 or 35, I can't remember. Either one of the 2. It's the Arcadia halogen anyway. And this, my friends, I mean, the plants are just exploding ever since I added the Jungle Dawn, without a doubt. The Hoya, for example, Hoya Splash. I mean, look at that, beautiful leaves. And it just keeps growing. The Pothos obviously does well most of the time anyway, but in here, I've chopped it back a few times just to help with the growth, and that's doing really well. This rubber plant, absolutely stunning. As you can see, new leaves coming up pretty much every month, to be honest with you. It's just getting bigger and bigger. The Monstera in the back, Swiss cheese, actually looking really nice as well, which is quite nice because obviously I've not had much luck with them in the past. There's a snake plant in there somewhere. And obviously in this enclosure is, oh yeah, I still don't know the name of that one, but I'm a big fan and it's doing really well. This, as you can maybe hear possibly, is one of the enclosures. It's the first enclosure I ever did that's got a ventilation and ducting system. So built into the background is a 40mm fan, draws the air in from the bottom, tees off, and just circulates the air. And as you can see, beautiful. I'm pretty sure there are still Panda Kings in the bottom, obviously springtails. I did add earthworms when I first set this up. I don't know if they're still alive. There's no way of me telling. But yeah, proper little ecosystem going on in here. And I am a big, big fan of this enclosure. But that, my friends, for now, is that. You've seen everyone, everything. I've even shown you some plants, which you might have got bored about, or bored with, sorry. You've seen the fact that I really need a shave and a haircut, but that's not the point of this video. There's still things to be done. I still need to upgrade. I still need to do more, do better, things like that. But as you saw that little sneak preview, it's coming. There's a whole new reptile room being built currently. I can't wait, personally. I'm excited. I'm spending hours a day doing it when I can. There's plenty more to come, but I will keep you up to date. Keep your eyes peeled for that video because it's coming soon. It's going to be done in 2 parts because it's quite a big job. So part 1 of the new reptile room is coming soon. But this was Reptile Room Tour 2023. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Let me know if there's anything you change, anything you do differently. I don't know. Let me know what you thought. Who's your favourite animal that I've got? Other than that, massive, massive shout out to my patrons. Appreciate you. Love you guys. If you want to join, the link will be in the description. Other than that, ladies and gents, please like, comment, share, subscribe. All of the good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.